Hey guys, on tonight's episode of Divorce, properly named Bad Manners, Jackie finally admits she's jealous of Robert and Frances. Frances and Henry's relationship goes south, and Diane ends up going on a date with a grandfather. You don't want to miss this.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We always start with such an upbeat song coming into Divorce. It really,
just for Divorce.
It totally wouldn't have made sense season one for you Divorce fans, but it's a little more lighthearted
Definitely.
this season. Yeah, definitely. Hey guys, I'm Katie Foley, and I am joined by my lovely co-host.
Hello, I'm Tatiana Marisa.
And tonight, we have a lot of ground to cover. I mean, I had a really hard time breaking down what the most important points were because...
It was jam-packed.
It was jam-packed today. They really, saved this episode punch. But basically, we're going to talk about Jackie and Robert and the deterioration of them. She finally admits that she's jealous of Robert and Frances, so we'll talk about that a little bit more. We're also going to talk about Frances and Henry and how their relationship goes.
Kind of predicted it. Just going to throw that out
I know,
there.
she did. I was hoping for the best. And we're going to get into Diane dating a very, very older man. In fact, a grandfather.
80 plus.
80 plus. And then we have a news segment covering, actually, speaking of Diane, Molly Shannon actually sent Nick Jonas a heart DM. Scandalous. And where's Tracy Let's been? We'll talk about that tonight. And we will also talk about how Divorce has a predominant production team of women, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, of course, we're going to do our special segment of Celebrity Divorces with Tatiana.
What else?
So what did you think about this episode?
I thought it was great. It was very entertaining.
Yes.
And I actually had physical reactions this time.
Yes.
Whereas last time I was just kind of watching, and this time I
know, so funny.
It was the dinner that got me. I mean, that's where the majority, the meatiness of the show was.
Absolutely. But yeah, Bad Manners,
horrible manners.
It was horrible manners.
But it was everybody just had word vomit.
Exactly.
They just couldn't help themselves.
Exactly.
And I was trying to make excuses for everybody in my head. Why did she say that? Why did he say it? Why would you? But I honestly, at the end of it, I was I have no excuses for anybody because it just totally went south so fast.
It really was just the knife at the gut and then just wielding around by the end. It was so bad.
So bad.
So bad. Yeah. No, and I have to talk about last week. It was so funny. Brianna, our producer, was like, you guys kept saying there was a lot of filler, but you guys talked for a very long time.
We had more to say than we thought.
We did. But this week we definitely have a lot to get into. So let's get into it. So Jackie and Robert. I love that Jackie finally came out and admitted that she's jealous of Robert and Frances.
Which, we all knew.
Duh.
She just needed to say it.
Yes.
But it was there. The hints were there.
Yes,
especially
absolutely.
when she was like, I'm done with this, and went to bed.
Oh, yeah.
So to speak. And apparently they haven't really been talking since then because he gave her the sandwich and then walked away. And so they haven't really had a ton of communication.
Which is not surprising because Robert. Robert's not the best communicator.
No, he's not. You think he would be.
Right.
Round 2, right?
Right.
But no, he hasn't really learned anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And the other thing, too, is it's very clear with Jackie's steps and her motives, the whole thing with the selling the house. Totally.
Her claws are out again.
Yes.
But she just wants to get rid of Frances.
Exactly.
That's what that's her motive behind everything is she really wants to get rid of her. She just wants her out of her life, but not because obviously that can't happen.
That can't happen entirely, but any kind of memory, she just wants to cut them off.
Yeah,
exactly. Do you think that it would be a pro for them to sell the house? Take Jackie out of the equation.
Honestly, if they sold the house, I think it would be fine. Yeah, their memories are there, but honestly, Frances could use the finances, so it's not it would be a bad thing. Now, for sentimental reasons, I understand why they're not selling the house.
100%.
And Robert kind of sticks to Frances's guns, by by saying, oh, no, you can't sell the house because I have to talk to Frances first.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that was a really great moment between them.
Totally.
Because so many times Robert is just like kind of silently sticking by Frances with these interactions with him and Jackie. What did you think about that?
Well, I think Robert liked when Frances put Jackie in her place in the last episode, which I was kind of surprised that he did, because maybe you know, Jackie's really getting on Robert's nerves lately.
100%.
But I mean, she's pregnant.
I know,
so
she's
you gotta
pregnant.
kind of give her a break, because I'm sure she's caged.
Right.
Like, all she talked about at the dinner was how, like, you know, she's gaining weight and she's
Which, by the way,
caged.
she still looks great. I mean, wah, wah, wah. I mean, where's the smallest violin?
Seriously.
It really, the
She's
swan
a
song.
Beautiful pregnant lady.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
She's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But I understand.
Yeah.
You know, but and her saying, you know, this is my first marriage and this is my first time dealing with an ex. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's super lame.
It was.
So it's a cop-out answer.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
It's my first time being married. I don't know how to do it. Nobody
know how
does.
to do it.
Ever.
Right.
Even 10 years into marriage. You don't know what you're doing.
No, Robert doesn't know what he's doing.
Nobody
Even
does.
no one does. Yeah, there's no right or wrong.
Yeah. This
you
is
know?
stupid. When she said that, I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah. Right.
You can't
Moving
say
on.
that. Yeah, you can't say that.
Moving on. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I mean, she just, you know, she needs to chill out. And I think that she was trying to seem like the cool person by being like, yeah, totally. Let's have this dinner, you know, with Frances and Henry, you know.
But Frances initiated it.
She did.
So she was the one that was like, I feel bad, which is like true Frances fashion.
It really was.
You know?
And I got to say, actually, going to that moment, I was actually disappointed because Frances was like apologizing.
Right.
For, you know,
sticking up for herself. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I mean, she was like really, it was a weak moment for Frances in front of Robert.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think everything that she said the last episode to Jackie when she chewed her out was correct.
Yes.
She had a place to say it.
Yes.
You know, she stood on a soapbox, said what she needed to say, and everything was right. It was all right. Like, I was totally behind her. So there's no reason.
100%.
There's no reason why
she was like negating herself.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like, oh, you know what, Robert, why don't you and Jackie figure out what's going on with Tom's future? You know? But by saying that, I mean, even they even said like, oh, we'll talk about college later. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think was like literally the dialogue. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm so happy that Jackie didn't hear that.
Me too.
Oh my God. And I'm so happy that, well, at least we from what we saw, that Robert didn't tell her that, you know? Right. Because, yeah, Frances was so powerful in that moment, you know? And, yeah, Jackie should be threatened.
Yeah.
She needs to know her role, you know?
She does. And it's a defined line.
Yes.
And I understand that there has to be this balance, and it's going to take time to have that balance, but there has to be like a mutual respect between Frances and Jackie. And I think it was there until Jackie first came and said, you know, oh, I guess I need to thank you.
Yes,
for divorcing
I was going to say that. Because it definitely didn't come this season. It definitely came last season where she was thanking him.
Yes. So
thanking her for divorcing him. Yeah.
I think that was the wedge.
Yes.
That bloomed all of this, you know, crap that's now like surrounding their mutual respect.
So oddly petty. Mm-hmm. It's so strange because she seems like such a cool woman.
Well, she wants to be, the apple of Robert's eye, right? You know, she wants to be the only woman. So I feel like she's definitely fighting for control over Robert, and she's also fighting for attention. Yeah. You know, she wants to be the only woman in his life. But it's just not, I mean, she kind of knew what she was getting into when you marry a guy that's already been married and the ex-wife is still around.
Right.
Because there's a mutual understanding and respect between them. You know, she kind of knew what she was getting into. You have to share everything, unfortunately.
Right. And for her to kind of tiptoe and try to sell the house behind not just Frances's back, but Robert's back.
Yeah.
Wow. And then to bring it up at dinner was just like, well, that lady.
Was, like she said, it was like word vomit. You know, she was basically getting back at him because he was mad. He was jealous that his friend, or I don't even know if it's his friend, but the guy that he works with.
Yes. What is his name? Oh my goodness.
Jeremy.
There we go. I knew it started with a J.
that Jeremy wanted to ask Frances out, which is totally crossing the bro line.
Totally.
I mean, I know that.
It was so funny because Jeremy the whole time has been like, Robert, I look up to you. Let's hang out. Let's have your bachelor party. And Robert's been like, no. And now Robert's like, whoa, you crossed the bro line. But Robert didn't even stand up for himself. He's like, yeah, whatever, just ask her out. I mean, I know he was like coaching a game, so it was like very awkward timing and very good timing on Jeremy's part. But
well, I think he set him up to see him crash and burn because he knew that Frances was going out with Henry.
Right.
So...
But I don't think that he knew how serious it was between Frances and Henry until they had that little powwow.
At the dinner table.
Well, no, I was going to say right before he actually did ask her out.
Right. Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, so this is serious? And she was like, yeah, it is.
You're right.
You know? Which is... I guess that will lead us on to our next topic. Frances and Henry. I'm bummed.
I'm bummed too, but honestly, I called it.
I know you did.
Like, I knew it wasn't going to last because Frances's relationships never seem to end well.
Right.
And they never last. And so I was just kind of waiting for something to happen. If it wasn't the ex-wife, or excuse me, the wife.
Right.
Because they're not legally divorced.
The business partner.
Right, the business partner.
Who also happens to be his wife.
Yeah. And to go along with that, okay, Henry is mad that some dude asked Frances out and she didn't tell him. He's really mad about that when he dropped the bomb saying, oh, I have an ex-wife, but she's not really my ex-wife. Like, you didn't start your relationship off with, hey, I'm still married, but we're not together. But you're mad that she didn't tell you that some dude asked her out. I was like, come on, Henry. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
All of the brownie points that he earned
with
gone. With that moment, even the first moment when we first saw him on screen, where she actually went to his place. They were so cute. And then, with the whole Miami trip, how he handled that so well.
It was great.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. He was so weird about that.
And then he says, oh, you can do whatever you want. You're a grown woman.
Yeah.
Well, of course, she knows that.
She knows that.
If she wants to do whatever she wants, she's gonna do whatever she wants.
Well, she was trying to help him and give him an out because that was so funny with Robert's little racist crack. So was she also white?
It's like, what? But the way he apologized, oh no, what did I say?
What did I say?
Like, what do you mean? It was really weird.
I know.
But I think he wanted to get a dig in.
Yes, he did.
At Henry.
Yes, he did.
Passive aggressively,
yes,
get a dig in.
I mean, and I gotta say, Henry really started it off with the passive aggressive dig. Yeah, this is going to be a great dinner where, we're sleeping with people who've already slept together.
But personally, I think he just cleared the elephant in the room.
Oh, I know.
I didn't think that was a dig at all. I think he was literally saying, of course, this is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Because everybody has literally slept with everybody. Right. Of course it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
So he just called it out. This is what it's going to be.
It's not going to be all kumbaya.
But it went so far beyond that.
Oh,
it just went so far beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, it started with the racist crack, and then what was next? And then it was the asking out, and then it was the house. It was so painful to watch.
It was really and I would just literally, I was watching it one after another. And she didn't have a twinge.
No.
She just did it to make people leave.
I know.
Which, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take the out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then her awkward comments about her weight the whole time. It's just I can't.
Super awkward.
So
I mean, I'm
awkward.
sure that's all that she can think about.
Right.
Especially because she literally is caged.
Yes.
In her own home. So who does she talk to? Nobody. So I'm sure this is all that she
This is her
about.
only interaction. This and, talking to Robert's sister last week and her strange husband who listens to metal music the whole time.
To get away from his wife.
This is her whole life. So, yeah, guys, it was definitely bad manners indeed. Let's speaking of dinner, let's talk about Diane.
Yes, Diane.
Oh, so I know that Tatiana really wanted the shoplifting kid to come back, but
I still have hope. Honestly.
She probably will, but instead we see the shoplifter's grandfather show up at the department store. What did you think about their interaction?
Gordon.
Gordon, thank you.
Gordon was his name. Gordon has balls.
He does.
He's ballsy. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
If it was me, I wouldn't. I would say no.
No, yeah. She's like, a dinner? He's like, or we could do a lunch.
But you see Diane, she now hates her job. Like, I feel like in the beginning we saw her and she was gung-ho and for her job and like, I'm gonna work this and I'm gonna make my money and, I'm gonna work my way up the ladder, and that was her mentality. And now we see her standing at the sunglasses counter, chewing gum and sticking it on the bottom.
Right.
The bottom of the table. She hates her job.
I keep thinking about that woman who came in. She was like going to style her, and then it turned out to be that woman,
And that's where it turned, honestly.
Yeah,
that's where it turned.
Really did.
And she just, after that, she hates her job. She really does hate her job. And so I think she thought, okay, this guy's asking me out. No other guy is lining up at my door to go out with me, especially if they knew what I've been through and who I was married to and what happened.
I think the other thing is the underlying thing with Diane in this episode was just the age thing. I mean, both Dallas and Francis kept bringing up the tampons. It was almost like the Petri pillow last week. It was like, where is this, what does this have to do with anything? Well, clearly, with the Dallas and Diane scene, beautiful scene in the bathroom, Diane reveals that she's just hoping that she gets her period back. What did you think about...
She doesn't want to accept that menopause is here. And it's hit her. And, that's accepting that you're... I mean, I don't think it's accepting that you're old, okay, but it's definitely a transition for a woman into, that part of your life is gone.
Right.
And now you have to move on.
Right.
And it's kind of, I think you kind of hit this midlife crisis kind of a thing. And I think that's what she's going through.
Exactly.
And so this 80-year-old guy comes and says, would you go out with me? And she's like, well, okay.
Right.
Like, what else am I going to do?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, just hang out on Dallas's couch or Francis's couch given the week. Exactly.
But I also wonder, because she had such a lush lifestyle before.
Right.
So I also wonder if she's kind of hoping that maybe if she gets with an older gentleman, if he'll be in a position to take care of her, where she won't have to, work the sunglasses counter and,
definitely
worry about gaps and bunches.
Could be. I think the other thing that made her uncomfortable with the guy, beyond just the fact that he's 80, is that he's a family guy. And Diane, as we talked about last week with the difference between Molly Shannon and Diane, is that Diane is not a family woman. I mean, the whole thing with her, bonding with the shoplifting kid was like a big moment for her,
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think that the idea of her jumping into, this thing with a grandfather too is a little...
Well, a grandfather who is caring for this kid that she totally clicked with.
That she loves. Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, there could be, we might see that kid again.
Right. But good on you, Diane, for being open to it, and I would love to see more of what happens.
Yes.
Yes.
I kind of want to see more of what happens, and I kind of don't.
Right.
I'll be honest. I don't know.
Anyways. Awkward turtle. Speaking of awkwardness, let's get into our special segment. So we're talking more celebrity divorces today with someone they actually got divorced twice. So this is super interesting. I'm going to hand this over to Tatiana.
Yes. Each week for our special segment, we talk about famous divorces that have happened over our lifetime. So we're talking about Steve and Elaine Wynn. And now we all know the Wynn hotels that we see that are everywhere in Vegas.
Yep.
The co-founders of the casino giant Wynn Resorts, they divorced for the second time in 2010. And this settlement granted Elaine 11 million shares, which is an estimated $795 million in 2010. So imagine what it's worth now. Steve sold around $114 million in stock, which some of that went to Elaine, obviously. And Steve stepped down as CEO and chairman of the Wynn Resorts in February of just last year. And he sold all of his shares, making Elaine Wynn Resorts the largest shareholder.
Wow.
So she is the largest shareholder of this empire that they built. So she is now worth an estimated $2 billion.
If you want my Venmo account, I'm accepting requests.
It's really crazy.
It's crazy.
So my curiosity lies pretty much with any of these. my curiosity lies in how is their relationship now? Because I know that so many marriages break up over financial,
of course,
problems and all of that. And that's like the brunt of arguments between any marriage.
Sure.
And so I always am curious, when you're talking about $2 billion and $795 million, are they still amicable, or do they, is it forever cursed between them purely off of finances, or, I'm always curious.
Yeah. No, I think
why.
it's definitely something to consider, but I really think it's the people. I think take the money out of the equation. It's the way that people react in that situation.
Like, do you think they would still be together if money, such a large sum of money, wasn't on the table?
No.
Interesting.
But I'm also hopeful that people divorce for the right reasons, because divorce is so unfortunate, as we see with this show. Yes. Let's get into our news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
AfterBuzz TV News. Okay, so SJP did a cute little clip for HBO talking about divorce, and she basically was talking about to YouTube how the show is super female heavy in terms of the production side. So basically all the producers are female, and this season every single director was female, which
that is so awesome. So she does it through her production company, Pretty Matches Productions.
Yes.
Right. And so her production company, like the whole thing is basically female.
Right.
Like everything.
Which
is great.
So cool. Yeah. No, I mean, I really appreciated this story because as an actor in LA, I realized after 5 years of working, I'm like, oh my God, I can count the female directors I've worked with on one hand. It's so sad, So I love seeing, this kind of progress, and I hope that she keeps making work, even if it's not divorce, with this female
She
heavy.
actually has like a lineup.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. So it's great. I'm excited to see everything that she comes up with.
Yeah. And more production companies should do the same.
Absolutely.
Moving on. So where the heck has Tracy Letts been? Well, let me tell you. Tracy Letts has actually just finished a stint on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
He was in All My Sons with Annette Bening, and he was playing, I believe, Joe, and that ended on June 30th. And he claims, according to Vulture, that Annette slapped the SHIT out of him when they were rehearsing. So that was also a thing.
Interesting.
And to top it off, talking about Broadway, they just actually announced that Tracy Letts has another show coming to Broadway called The Minutes, and it's actually a political show. He doesn't normally do political theater. So he claims he had to watch a lot of YouTube, according to the New York Times, and he watched a lot of town council meetings, and he said he was horrified. So I'm excited to see how it actually comes out. I saw August Osage County. Yes, when it was in previews on Broadway, and it was the best theatrical experience of my life. So I'm super excited. Maybe I'll have to make a trip to New York to go see that.
Oh, take me with you.
Yes. Yeah, we'll plan on it.
Okay.
And if you want to Venmo, send us money. That'd be great. Cover our flights. Thank you, Mrs. Wynn.
Cover our expenditures.
In music, okay, so it's not in music news, but kind of in music news. According to music news, Nick Jonas, apparently him and Molly Shannon had met at Sundance a couple years ago. And he ends up DMing her pretty recently, probably about last fall, and asked her if he wanted to talk to her about something. Well, what he actually wanted to talk to her about is that he's developing a dramatic play, and he was doing a reading for industry professionals, and he wanted to cast Molly Shannon. And how does Molly Shannon react? She sends a heart. And she was so embarrassed that she showed her daughter, and she's like, how do I get rid of this heart? And thank goodness her daughter showed her that it was probably on Instagram or something, because I know that you can remove, or Facebook, you can remove, messages that way. So she shows Molly Shannon, her mother, how to remove the heart so
hilarious.
She can save face. Yeah. Such a Molly Shannon thing to do, right?
But she's going to read for his part.
She already did in the
she
fall.
did?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yes. But
That
now
is
she's
so cool.
finally coming out and admitting that she sent a, like almost like a booty text to him. Hilarious.
That's okay, Molly. We still
That's
love
okay,
you.
Molly. So funny. So let's get into our predictions.
Ooh, okay.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay.
What are you feeling?
I think that I actually think that Diane and the grandfather are going to work for a little bit, and that she's going to stay with him because of his granddaughter, because they had such a like a click moment.
Yes, I agree with that, and I feel like Nick is going to come back at some point if Tracy has time. But I feel like he's going to come back in some fashion.
Yeah.
Maybe to try to derail that. What else?
I mean, he's in prison though. How long is he in prison for?
Yeah, but I mean, if you watch like Empire, Lucius Lyon was figuring out how to do all this craziness in
That's true.
prison.
That's so true.
I feel like Nick could figure out some stuff.
Empire is like
It's a completely different show.
whole different story. The divorce. I mean, but you're right.
But Nick
You're
is
right.
so petty that I feel like he'd figure out something.
You're right.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah.
And as we saw in the preview, Francis is going to
Date
accept,
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is kind of cute. We'll see what happens with
He
that.
honestly, he seems harmless. Like,
Yeah.
I think he would be a breath of fresh air for Francis.
He seems fun.
Yes.
And that's
She needs that.
She needs that. Henry seemed like he was fun, but then he was so weird about certain things.
He just doesn't want to commit anymore, which I
Yes.
get. I mean, you go through it once and you kind of don't want to do it again because of the experiences that you had. I get that.
Right.
I totally get it. But, you also want to be with somebody for the rest of your life again.
Yeah. My only reservation about Jeremy is I feel like because he's like so like wants to follow in Robert's footsteps, is that gonna get in the way of him and Francis?
Like he's going to look up to Robert.
He still looks up to Robert.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
It's weird. It's almost like, hey, I'm gonna ask out your ex-wife so I can follow in your footsteps. So
That's kind of weird.
That's my
When you put it
reservation
that
about
way.
him.
Yes.
Yeah. And we didn't even address Dallas. Dallas is breaking down.
Well, I think she's going through a midlife crisis as
Yes.
well because she's just hating her job.
Yes.
So I think she's going to quit.
Yes.
She's basically making her clients turn away from her
Right.
by telling them what she actually thinks. Which is what's supposed to happen.
Right.
But,
Right. No, I agree. I think that and I think that her son Cole is going to come back, and there's going to be some kind of, advancement with that. So
a good or bad?
I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be clarifying. I think it's exactly what she needs because he's kind of ghosting her right now,
Yes.
Yeah. And speaking of ghosting, I don't see Henry coming back.
No, I don't either. Sad to say, but
Sad to say that text. I think that is donezo.
I think when he's done, he's done.
Yes, I agree.
Which sucks because
does
then
suck.
it was left totally open-ended and nothing is closed.
Yeah.
There's no closure.
Yep.
And that's hard to move on from, because then it's always in the back of your mind. So it sucks on Henry's part.
I know. And I think that Jackie and Robert, as far as the way that their story ends, I feel like they're either going to take a break or they're going to stay together and be unhappy.
I think they're going to stay together and be unhappy.
Yeah.
Because, she's
So
pregnant
painful.
and she's going to have a baby.
I know.
This is his third kid.
Yeah.
You can't.
What do they call it? Unexpected blessing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can't get divorced. I'm sure you can, okay, but I feel like it would be unethical.
Right.
If you divorce somebody that was about to have
a
your child.
kid,
I
sure.
just feel like that. And
No,
it's
you're
not,
right.
It's not Robert's character. It would be totally out of character for him to do that. So
Right.
I think he's going to try to hold on, but I think they're going to end up being married and unhappy, and he's going to be wishing that he was back with Francis.
Oh, it's so
In the
painful.
end, he just didn't. It's too soon. They divorced too soon.
They did. They watched Nick and Diane, which were not a blueprint.
Yeah.
And Diane shot at Nick like not a blueprint.
But their relationship is bananas. You can't. I feel like anybody that would look at their relationship would know.
Exactly.
I can't. Don't model my
Right,
relationship
right.
off. Don't compare my relationship to them.
If anyone is jumping into the show or has been watching the show, do not follow Nick and Diane. And that's my final words tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. Guys, I'm Katie Foley. You can follow me at all social platforms. Katie did what now, but please do not stalk me. And I'm joined by
Tatiana Marisa. All social media platforms is on Tatiana Marisa. And I'm also on Sundays at Jet on HBO.
Perfect. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.